Zool, this is his best map. He's been a staple of the series, the 2 games we've seen of it. But will he be first picked by Tempest here? Is his priority really worth putting him up that high when he's a hero that's still being figured out in this region? It's been used in EU and NA before, similar situations, way, way before. This is like Korea starting to kind of get the rhythm of this main tank Zool.
I mean, you think about the portal hooks; those have also been super effective in other regions, and they're starting to kind of make their way over to HGC Korea. But I really actually love Cho'Galban, because if there's one team that would pull it out in crazy situations, it would be Miracle, and they do go for the Manor Galban or Cho'Ban. No, it's Gal. I can never remember. It looks so similar.
I think Cho is the one on the left, and I think Gall is on the right.
Right, I agree.
No, actually, I think I had it backwards.
Okay, I have. No, this is not the key point of today's broadcast.
No.
Although, to be fair, Garrosh does look a lot like them as well, so maybe we're just banning out only more. Aw.
All right,
never
is it
mind.
Zool time?
Is it though? I think so. I mean, to be fair, if you have to bait your opponent into first picking it, this is about as juicy as that bait could possibly be. But now Miracle get a chance to go for it. Whoa! Mephisto! That good!
So, when you have this weird Cho'Gall, you know, sort of coming through like this, it makes it so that the ban phase is like it was when we had 2 bans instead of 3. And it does lead to some high-tier picks coming in through on both sides, and that's where the Mephisto comes through here. Mephisto is also very powerful on this map because his Lightning Nova can soak up those last hits very easily on the defenders. And Mephisto is very good at zone control as a mage. When you fight over one area like that, he's very powerful in that regard as well. So I guess that's why they decided to match the Gall bans. You can have Maiev, but we're going to get Mephisto and Diablo. 2 very good picks for the map. Tyrande comes through here now with Muradin. Not the most common pairing of tank, but Stormbolt plus the Lunar Flare, and of course the Tether plus Lunar Flare can be a very powerful combo.
Yeah, and a great way to reach the back line as well if you can combo any of that CC there. So a great way to prevent that crowd control from being neutralized, taking Medivh off the field. And of course, certainly something that you can pair with Mephisto to give him just like the craziest mobility you've ever seen.
Yeah, because if you portal, you can. Everyone knows this, right? But just to put it into the heads of those who had never thought of it, if you shade portal, you will then return to your shade location. So it's, I mean, insane distance you can travel, which is like shouldn't even be possible.
I feel like we're just still exploring the possibilities of what is possible with Mephisto. Obviously, a little bit new to competitive professional play, but it's been out for a little bit. But still, there has to be something that's just the most broken thing you've ever heard of.
Yeah.
Maybe it's that, but of course, a lot of other possibilities.
I mean, when you have Deckard and Medivh and Mephisto and Diablo, like it gets ridiculous. So I think it was a really reasonable ban.
They're going for the lore team. They were for a while, and then that sneaky Overwatch hero snuck in there.
Well, now with the Phoenix Sonya, you know, Tempest has answering heroes to the Skeletal Defenders. They can fight a strong fight there. They have strong pushing power with the Tyrande, or sorry, with the Sonya. And Blaze is going to be a nice counter to how Tempest wants to engage, some extra survivability for Frankel. I actually like both of these drafts quite a lot. I kind of want to lean towards the Mephisto draft, though. Frankel's always been a very good mage player, and as we saw earlier with SC, put in the right hands, Mephisto is so difficult to kill. He has extra survivability from both Deckard, who can sleep his opponents or try to kill him, and also Blaze, who can bunker. So, I mean, bunker gives you extra opportunities. You can shade and then get into the bunker, it's turn to your shade location, throw people off like that. It's very powerful, that duo.
Man, Tempest fans going crazy today.
Tempest is by far the most popular team in Korea. Just put that out there for you guys.
Are they more or less popular than SDE as a person?
You know, I actually don't know.
It's close. It's close. He's just that popular. But yeah, certainly lots of fans from across the world coming here to watch the last week of HGC Korea. It feels a little bit sad that things are coming to an end. But of course, it just gets right back up there in the excitement level as BlizzCon is just around the corner. Of course, playoffs before that. So let's go ahead and get into it. Game at number 3, Tempest poised to take a clean sweep here against a team that has taken out basically all of their competition.
Yeah. The early game here, if you look at these two drafts, it's very threatening for Miracle, actually, despite the fact that Tyranda's on Tempest's side. I think that you have to consider the damage output of someone like Frankel here, plus Diablo. It's terrifying to be on the receiving end of that amount of damage. And if you engage poorly at level 1, look at this, it's actually a really cool way to check vision. If you engage poorly at level 1, suddenly Mephisto...
Oh my god, look at that chain CC, disgusting! Nacho Jin! Oh, fan of knives to secure the kill, and Hyde lives! There is no justice in the world.
The vault to dodge the cannon shot, but to go back to the original point, the amount of damage Mephisto could do in the early game means that wells can be forced. Like, you could force 5 people to well if the fight goes poorly for the defending side, if the Lightning Nova is good enough. As we saw there, had the fight gone a little bit longer, that would have happened, probably. So very scary indeed, but what's even scarier is when, your Blaze overextends and does get taken out.
That chain CC was just unfair. Very difficult. He's having a bad day today. But yeah, very well coordinated. Tempest do convert on that, already. And lockdown going again. Vault to dodge.
Ooh, perfect flare.
His way. And yeah, exactly. Look at the follow-up as well. Tempest kind of punishing Mephisto, one step out of position.
Good, just going to regen the shields. Super easy peasy. Does that globe to get the rest of his health. The little chip damage that was there. Phoenix so powerful at trading shields for big picks like this. Now
Power just Protoss, am I right?
Yeah. Protoss over P, OP, man. Over P.
Oh, in fact, yes. Quite over P'd.
Quite over P.
I hate it when the heroes are too strong. Much better than being under P'd, that's for sure.
Yeah. Just too O-powered, man. Well.
That just tickled me, man. Oh, you're funny today, Wolf. The games are helping you out there too. It's not like
we've had some unique ones today.
For sure.
So, when you look at where we stand in this game now after these 2 picks for Tempest, it's kind of a worrying sign for Miracle's early game because they've been shoved back and they've lost 2 members in a comp that I personally feel is stronger for the early game in terms of pick potential. That means that Tempest kind of knows how to play around this Mephisto already. This is where it's going to get hard, though, right? This Mephisto's built mostly for this fight.
Oh my god, lockdown, just grabbing everybody, reaching out and touching somebody, but look at that Mephisto damage, it's so crazy, until he dies. And so that means no more Mephisto damage, but I think it might have just been done. I mean, Tempest very, very low health, and Miracle are not afraid to still go in and take the Shrine.
Yep, but remember, Tyranda's auto attacks, whether it's on Judy or on those minions in the mid lane, that's where Hyde's been putting a lot of that off. Can be giving everyone healed up really quick. They all had healing wells available as well, so they come right back in here, maintain that advantage.
Yeah, they're still going in for the contest, but once again, Lockdown living up to his name. Keeping Sniper and Blue Beetle completely in check, and now even with Frankel coming back, will they be able to save the Shrine in time? No, is the answer, and so now there's Punisher coming out along with Tempest, push down that bottom lane.
Yep. Notice the positioning there, coming out from Tempest inside the Lightning Nova. Oh, this could be a freeze here. It is. Judy's in trouble.
He is in trouble. Oh, the flare follow-up. So beautifully chained together.
It's not over yet.
Stop there. No, Frankel gets Stormbolt and take it out again.
Lightning Nova is totally worthless when you're being dove upon like that. As you can see, the damage is all around the heroes that are inside of it.
There's like, wonder if there's like one little safe space that we could all be together.
It's like the eye of the storm, you know, in the center there.
The eye of the Tempest, as it were.
Yes. Well, wrong side, but yeah.
Well, that was a little bit anticlimactic. The Punisher. Oh, wait, I disappeared.
Well, this is kind of a scenario where like Tempest is up 5 kills to 0. They have free reign over the map. And I talked about how, look, again, gonna have to pour it out of that one and get some information here. I talked about how Tyrande could be strong in the early game, but Diablo usually ends up controlling that. But he hasn't been able to get that many souls, and I could not tell you a sniper is over here. He does have his jump over the wall, so that was a very scary moment.
Yeah, natural agility.
Yes, natural agility, not the cyber agility.
No, of course, clearly a different spell. That's like the natural agility that has like the nose and mustache and glasses on. It's like totally different.
Yeah.
I grew up in Southern California. I'm allowed to say that.
It's like Daisy and Peach in the new Smash Bros. Like totally different. Not the same at all.
It's an echo skill, Wolf.
It's an echo skill. It's an echo trait.
That's what we're calling.
That's what we're calling it.
He's like, it's like one of them's the evil version that has the mustache but looks the same.
There's got to be more in the game. I'll have to think of some.
We'll come up with a few. It's like, what is it? The Inquisition and
Disintegration?
Disintegration, yeah.
Okay. All right, Good is actually stunned here. He has his warp, though, into the root, but there's no follow-up damage. He got the salvo off. Sniper very low.
Whoa!
Hide! Oh, he missed
on the jump, the natural agility again. Oh, but Science jumping in for the follow-up, and the heal's coming in through.
Tommy's in there, though. Look at him.
You're the ground pound. This is so hyped to watch. Tempest, the re-engage over and over again. Whether it's Dami or Sign, they're all getting in there. But Franco might find some low health bars. Can he finish it off?
Sign does get killed there at the end by the fort. Lockdown's just trying to buy some time here. Does find himself away safely.
And no level 10s, so there's no opportunity of Franco to really just hit that magic R button.
Yeah. Not yet. So that would have been amazing with all those low health bars to consume the souls.
He's just trying to farm for 10 instantly, hoping that somebody still has a low health bar so they can get the level in time.
Yeah. I know that Artosis was very adamant that Tracer was an echo fighter of Tychus.
Tychus? Oh.
But that rumor has since been dispelled. Dustin Browder said they were very unique. No. She's, you know, she's the cavalry, okay? Very different than very evil Tychus. Bad guy.
Evil Tychus. Okay, well, here goes Franco coming in once again. The Lightning Breath to kind of keep them at bay. Lots of damage to be done. And here finally is the level 10. But nice vault to dodge it for Lockdown.
But Dami, yeah, he's down.
And that's the second one is they lose 2 and Tempest take one bad fight, which is going to cascade into them probably, well, maybe not losing this shrine outright, but if they don't want to, at least poke at it, this will be a freebie for Miracle.
Yeah, I mean, Miracle's got a path back into this game now because they have control of the shrine. They have all lanes controlled. They're getting extra soak. In fact, Lockdown's going to be careful. He does Hearth immediately. He goes out very far. The bot lane is going to be easily farmed. If anyone wants to take it, but actually just going to stick around here in the bush. I mean, they don't have like a global hero per se, but that lane's always going to be pushed for better soak for them to help catch up. Not that this Immortal's not going to leave them any distance. Like, they're going to hit 13 from this for sure.
Yeah, nice hiding backwards. Sign now coming around from the side. Franco once again, Shade is backwards, and so he goes in. Lots of damage to be put down. Of course, no R button for a very long time, so he's not going to have that way to finish it off. But Sign just barely! The Avatar of Life, keeping him in there. Found to keep him regenerated, and somehow Tempest stay alive through it all.
So they stay alive. Oh, looks like Mr. Punisher a little bit confused there. But you know, look at the bot lane. It's actually kind of some free soak Miracle and grab. Owl here to get vision of the camp take here, so they know that Miracle's on this right now. But it's really nice for Miracle that they can get that soak here. And Tempest, they had that trade up in heroics, you could say, and they have even talent tier. This is going to be, I think, a fight that Miracle does not want to risk at the moment for this, yeah.
I mean, they were just really thankful to get 13, right? Even up the level discrepancy and pushing forward. But I think Tempest still recognize that they have a great opportunity here. Now, obviously, don't really want to engage on the Judy, but can they find anything else? A little bit of a
disc here, so that means that Judy is way out of the fight. Look at this blow up here.
Oh yeah, there it is, taking Hanzo out. Can Franco find any opportunity to get in? It looks like no. The answer doesn't want to risk it. Judy getting taken out, mispositioned, meant that it was just kind of a freebie for Tempest to get the pick off onto Hanzo.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Miracle should have ever considered that to be a fight to take. I mean, we talked about how the wave was pushed in bot and how it could have meant soak, but it also meant that Tempest had vision advantages. They had potions there for the chase already set up. You know, like, I like what Miracle was trying to do with that, like, and what they thought they could do with it, but I think in reality, there's just too many little things that Tempest had advantageous for them. Okay, Dami gets out of here just fine.
Yeah, jet propulsion, not quite reaching the entire way. Tempest don't get punished for maintaining their siege, which is code word for overextending with style.
Yeah. If you look at the map, you could see that Tempest has an overwhelming vision advantage, and that has kind of maintained through the mid-game here their ability to spot Miracle's rotations, know where everyone's going to be at any given point in time. Mephisto's got good wave clear, but he never really wants to be doing it solo. It takes a decent amount of time for him to do that. Like, he doesn't want to be doing it himself, but he can finish off a lot of targets. He can grab those last hits on the defenders, for example, but you know when Frankel is rotating around, clearing waves, like, Tempest has control of the map. And this is going to be a top Punisher.
A little bit out of the way here. A pick maybe from Judy, but can't catch lockdown. The scroll's a little too slow to grab him. Dragon's Arrow still up if they want to re-engage here.
Yep, Dami is looking for maybe a flank in. Lockdown, just going to Q reset here, dismount so they can get the faster run up to that top shrine. The top push of that Shaman camp gives Tempest an advantageous position to get to this shrine first.
All part of the plan. Nice setup. Works out in their favor, and they're going to start it off.
Ooh, it's an Arcane Punisher too, so this could be really good for Tempest. I mean, we're 13 minutes into the game now. This could be a keep, you know, if they can really push hard with this. Miracle needs to be careful about losing a fight and losing this Arcane Punisher. In fact, they're going to try to soak 16 before they even go in. I actually think they might fully give it just because if they do not, like...
If they don't and they lose the fight, then it's not game over, but it's really close.
And there's also this buffer on this fort, so it's not like this goes directly to the keep. I mean, Tempest realizes, oh, they're giving it up, let's take out this fort. But there is this slight buffer here. They have 16 now. It's going to be very difficult with this comp to take a fight while the Punisher is pushing. They take this bot camp and prep the wave, but they need to get back home like ASAPly. Everyone, I hope they are hearthing on the minimap. They in fact are.
Are they? Yeah, okay. So finally everybody makes it back just in time to defend this keep, but I mean the Punisher's not even here yet.
Yeah, I mean, they once the Punisher gets here, it's going to be stunning in the fight. It's going to be dropping down these spinny fireball circles.
Junie frontlining just to tank up that Punisher immediately. Sign getting in, getting pushed back. Frankel trying to go in there, but he really just only hits that Skull Missile. Not a whole lot of follow-up there. The Arcane Punisher just going to town.
Okay, Judy doing a decent amount of damage with this Lightning Breath, and the Punisher is being focused. The keep will go down no matter what, but Frankel, hard engage here, plus the arrow.
That's the damage he's looking for. Now, where's the souls coming through? And no kills off of it, but still very low health bars. Frankel's going in again, backlines it, but decides it's not his time, and he will get taken out salvo to finish him off.
Frankel, his movement was so predictable. They tracked him and came in there for the punish. Judy doing what he can to try to peel. The Punisher will go down. Everyone's low health here. But there's just no way to stop this. I mean, Juice can do his best, but everyone's just rotating around correctly. Dami needs to get away from that.
I mean, yeah,
you know, I mean, this is a little bit risky. There's the disc.
Oh, Lornado coming out. I mean, we talked about it being a keep, and it absolutely could be the core. Tempest risking it for, I guess, the biscuit, but the core as well, and they will be able to just barely take it out. Take a 3-0 against a team that Gen.G and Ballistics could not.
They'll be the only team of the big three to not fall. Not only that, they take a 3-0. The only one not to drop any maps as well on top of that. I mean, that's a greater feat than winning the series at all, is to win it without dropping a single map. The seriousness to which these two teams played the series will always be held in question based on the drafts that we did see, especially in Game 2. But going into Game 3, went back a little bit more to the norm. Game 1, that main tank Zul that we've heard so much about was experimented upon. And the series did end up being what felt like very experimental, felt like a little bit of a test between these two teams, knowing that the less they show now, the more they have to hide for playoffs next week. But even still, you know, I feel like Tempest showed us a good game here in this final map. Also, Towers of Doom, very close map. They were able to take it. But yeah, at the end of the day, I mean, the score line is Miracle could not defeat Tempest in regular season.
Yep. I was kind of surprised that even though Shrines was a great map for the Zul that we were seeing experimented with, that he didn't come out there at the end. I kind of thought that was like the culmination of all that experimentation.
Yeah, I mean, it ended up being we had the Cho'Gall bans, right? So
yeah,
Maiev and Mephisto were open, so I think that was kind of the path that everyone went down, at least initially.
Yeah, and obviously you kind of want to go with Diablo at that point instead of maybe experimenting a little bit more.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was a cool day to get a chance to learn a little bit more about the current state of, now that Mephisto is enabled, what is the full potential there. I feel like Frankel was just like pixels of health bars away from really looking good. But he did look a little bit predictable there at the very end. He was punished for it, and that leads us to this 3-0 score for Tempest.
Yeah, so both of these teams' standings are now permanent. Obviously, Tempest, second place, already qualified for BlizzCon. Miracle will be locked into fourth place behind Ballistics, who will take third. So those are the top four locked in, and that means that Ballistics, of course, will have the buys until the final BlizzCon qualifier round. Miracle will be set to face off against the team that wins the winner of 5th and 6th, defeats the winner of 5th and 6th.
Yes. So the Gauntlet will kick off in just about a week, I believe.
Yes.
And that means that that's really all it's standing between us and finding out the final teams that'll qualify for BlizzCon.
That's right. So very exciting to see how Miracle will play, and they won't get potentially a rematch against Tempest until BlizzCon, if they make it there. Otherwise, it'll be next year.
Wow, that's kind of crazy to think about. I mean, it's also kind of crazy to think that BlizzCon is actually just about a month away exactly. So it is coming up very, very quickly. So essentially, no matter which teams go to BlizzCon, every team that has a chance has to be thinking, wow, we just don't have a whole lot of time to get to the level we need to be. I mean, obviously, that's kind of what this season has been preparing them for, but it's still realistically almost everybody's game. I mean, obviously, the Gauntlet is difficult, but still, even though Miracle lost now, they still have that chance for potential revenge. They just have to make it to BlizzCon to do it.
Yeah, and, today, I think for some people's mind, especially those who take the results screen today and don't watch the VODs, might be
You're really missing out if you did that.
Yeah, I think a lot of people might question Miracle's performance today and say, well, I mean, look at what happened today. Could they really defeat Ballistics? Maybe Ballistics wins this time. I still think that it's going to be an incredible matchup, and I think that what happened today with Miracle is not actually indicative of what we will see in that BlizzCon qualifier next week. So,
and likewise with Tempest, that's not indicative of what we'll see from them at BlizzCon. most likely. But still some great plays on both sides. A beautiful stay a while there from Blue Beetle. It was just like a little bit too little too late.
Yeah, there were a lot of you know, really fun moments on Towers of Doom. We're just going to skip to the end here. This fight was well played. The Zool soaking up all that damage in the front line, and then definitely the longer fight. This is an example of double support Zool tank when burst damage is on the other side. He's like, Scarlet Age